Hello, everyone. My name is Lynn Voss from GoldenCare. I've been working at GoldenCare for, time flies, it's like 17 years now, in a marketing support role, and I assist the regional directors with any of their product questions. I run quotes. More recently, my role has shifted a bit more to focus on developing the marketing. And my role has changed slightly, but I'm still here to support your efforts in learning these products and offering solutions to your clients. We're really passionate about that. All of our webinars, the goal is to help as many Americans plan for what one might consider the worst day of their life in terms of needing care and not pushing that burden on their children or other loved ones. So we're promoting, of course, the long-term care insurance solutions during the month of November, which is Long-Term Care Awareness Month. And I am pleased to introduce Mike Simonstad with NGL. He is our point of contact there, and he'll be giving us some product information, and he'll be going over what you see here, the quote screen for the NGL EssentialLTC product.
All right. Well, hey, thank you so much, Lynn. I greatly appreciate it. Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday, and thanks for having me. My name is Mike Simonstad, and I am the Eastern Regional VP, Sales VP for National Guardian Life, and it is Long-Term Care Awareness Month, and I would say, in addition to promoting the awareness of how important it is to plan for long-term care. I think it's also a good reason, especially for everyone in the sales field as we are, to kind of celebrate the long-term care solutions market and how it is right now. Because I will tell you this, I think it's a really, really good time to be in long-term care planning due to the vast array of long-term care solutions that are currently available out there right now. I mean, listen, I've been with NGL for about a year now, but I started in long-term care insurance back in 1990, and like many of you who have been around for a while, I'm sure you can relate to the fact that, hey, in the 1990s, even in the early 2000s, it wasn't a long-term care solutions market, it was a long-term care insurance market. But it has greatly evolved. And here we are, it's almost 2025. And there are two facts, I think, going on right now. Fact number one is that, especially after the recent election of last week, I think it's more clear than ever that in this great country of ours, we are on our own. Or Americans are on their own pretty much when it comes to long-term care planning, right? Planning for their future long-term care needs. What's available from the government is most likely not going to be anytime soon expanded. And I think the message is clear that, in the United States, when it comes to long-term care planning, you need to plan. And number two, I think it's quite clear that, there's a solution for just about everyone out there. Again, as opposed to the 1990s and early 2000s, when it was just long-term care insurance. My God, now you have, you have hybrid products, multifunctional life insurance products that do a number of things. You have asset-based long-term care planning, in which you use a life insurance chassis or an annuity chassis. You have worksite options that are, in many cases, guarantee issue. I mean, there's so many different types of solutions out there that I think it's really exciting. But here at NGL, we do good old traditional long-term care insurance, of which I do really believe there is still a great need and consumer demand for true good old traditional long-term care insurance. And despite what a lot of people may think, that that long-term care insurance is, oh well, it's past its prime, it's has a terrible black eye due to the mispricing of the earlier products. Contrary to that, traditional LTC is having a resurgence. All 7 of the carriers that sell traditional long-term care, their sales are robust and increasing. And that's because people realize 2 things. Number one, that when it comes to long-term care planning, probably the most, I don't know if I'll say probably the most affordable, but the one place, the one solution where you get the most long-term care bang for the buck is traditional long-term care. I mean, 100% of your premium dollar is going toward one thing, a long-term care to cover and make what can ordinarily be an unmanageable situation into a manageable one. 100% of your premium goes toward long-term care, if it's needed. And hey, if it's not needed, well, there are a lot of people out there that are just fine if they never have to taste fine nursing home cuisine in their lifetime. They're fine if they pay a lifetime of premiums for peace of mind. But those that want, double peace of mind, or they want to make sure that, be able to reposition an asset and get some leverage with knowing that they never have to give up that asset, well, there are some fantastic solutions out there for those people. But what we're finding at NGL, and I know other traditional carriers are seeing this too, that there are Americans out there, especially the middle market, that just wants to budget in affordable premiums and obtain a viable plan in case long-term care is needed. And that's where NGL comes in. At NGL, all they do is traditional long-term care, right? And it's interesting to note that NGL is a mutual carrier, right? And it's interesting to note that I think 5 out of the 7 carriers that are selling traditional LTC today are indeed mutual carriers, right? 20 years ago there were about 100 plus carriers selling traditional LTC, and I think we all know what happened. Because there were no experience in those earlier priced policy forms, carriers had no concrete data from which to price these products. Well, as such, a lot of them, were priced off pure assumptions, and those assumptions were off. The good news, though, is that carriers now price traditional long-term care insurance based on actual concrete long-term care experience data, which is great. And I know especially when I speak to financial advisors, and talk to them about the leverage you can get with traditional long-term care insurance, they say, yeah, but my God, I got a pile of messages on my desk from people that have these old Genworth policies, and it's like all these rate increases, and aren't you just going to start increasing rates? That seems to be what these carriers do. Well, the fact is, if you've bought a traditional long-term care policy in year 2012 or beyond, you have not experienced a rate increase on your traditional policy. Carriers now understand the pricing, they understand the persistency, right? The lapse rates, they got a handle on the underwriting. The pricing on these products is more solid than it ever has been before. And even though it is, right, traditional LTC, it is health insurance. It's not life insurance. And even though there's really, uh, no guaranteed pricing on traditional long-term care, except for NGL's 10 pay. I'll get to that in a minute. But the bottom line is, out of all the types of health insurance you can buy today, probably traditional long-term care has the least chance of getting a rate increase out of all the types of health insurance that's sold today. So that's very, very good news. Now to NGL a little bit. And if you look at the screen, you will see this is NGL's quick quote website. What I'm going to do today is give use this and do a demonstration case as a backdrop to discuss the NGL product and how it's, what its strong points are in the traditional LTC space. Before I dive into the product, a couple words about NGL and their experience in long-term care. And you know what? Bottom line is sometimes it's good to be late to the party. In the sense that NGL started in long-term care insurance in 2016, right? They were among the last carriers to get into long-term care solutions, and definitely the newest carrier to sell traditional LTC, which is good. Because from the get-go, from inception on the long-term care business, the product has been priced using actual data, right? No assumptions here. This product is priced using an almost 0% lapse rate, which is, truly what the lapse rate is almost with traditional LTC. It's using proven underwriting techniques. You could argue that the NGL product is probably, the cleanest risk pool for long-term care out there. So it's pretty nice, working for a conservative Midwest carrier that took a very conservative approach to this market, studied and learned from, I'll call them the sins of the past carriers, and got into this market, with a very solidly priced product that, no rate increases on the horizon, and no history of ever having raised rates as well. So, and of course, not burdened by older blocks of business that were underpriced. So it's a good story altogether, and it really, I think, NGL's participation in this market has fueled the resurgence of traditional long-term care. So with that, now, if you could take a look at the screen here, and I'm going to talk about the NGL product. And I will tell you, if you don't have a link to this, to our quick quote website, at the end of this, I'm going to email this link to Lynn. She could share it with you because it truly is a fantastic tool, right? What this is designed to do, and the great thing, what I like most about it, is you can generate zip off quick quotes all day. But what I like about it is there's no user ID, no password, right? You don't have to get in. Now at NGL, we do have our agent resource center. So once you become appointed, you have access to a full-blown illustration system. And if you want to create a 25-page illustration with all the reports, that show, alternate plan designs, the inflation report, all that. You go right ahead and do so. You could do that on our full-blown illustration website, or our illustration system on our Agent Resource Center. This is separate. This is just a quick quote website where you can develop, one-page quotes that are great, that are easy to understand. And I'm going to show you that right now, because I don't know about you, but when I find that if I create, a 20+ page illustration and I sit down with a client or give it to a client and say, here you go, here are all the reports, dig in, here's your long-term care illustration. Well, I just see too many times, the couple saying, oh, this is great, thank you, my wife and I are going to take this home, and you know what we're going to do, we're going to review all 20 pages and we're going to look at it, analyze it, and we'll call you back in a week or two. Well, guess what? That's just code language for saying, I'm never going to look at this. It's 20 busy pages. I'm going to put it in a drawer and forget about it. The output here is easy to understand and very to the point and very compelling. So without further ado, I'm going to show you. Here you go, right up here, you put in the state. And again, you can just keep this on your favorites bar and click on it and go right to work. Right at NGL, you could do a single person or a joint. Right, this is a couple, husband or wife, same-sex couple, whatever. Right, I put in the dates of birth right here. I made it a 60-year-old couple. Here's the husband, here's the wife. We have basically one quotable rate class for individuals, and that is the premier rate class. Right now, there is a counteroffer rate class called standard. You can't quote it because a vast majority of approvals are issued at that one rate class, premier. But a small handful, maybe about 2%, are rated, and it's a 35% rate up called standard. So I'm going to go next. I have my my data input, and I'm going to go to the plan design section. And I'm sure we all know how to price for long-term care, or we know the moving parts with traditional long-term care insurance. And that's another thing, another reason why I think there's a resurgence with traditional LTC, that it is very, very customizable. Right, virtually, you could create a plan for anyone's budget. And I know that we all have our personal opinions when it comes to plan design. I'll tell you mine in a little bit, and what I see I think works best. But I'm going to call this plan design a very middle of the road plan design. I'm going to call it the stay-at-home plan. Right. So I'm going to select a daily benefit of $150 a day. I can go up to 300, but right now I'm going to start at $150 a day. Right, that's about $4,500 a month. And I will say that in my experience, and I, like most people, have had a long-term care experience. I took care of my grandmother years ago for a while when she was older on in life. And boy, I gotta tell you, someone would have given me $4,500 a month out of a third-party checkbook and said, "Here we go. Here's $4,500 a month to pay for a professional home health aide." That would have changed my life at the time. So that's why I like to call this the stay-at-home plan. I'm going to select a 3-year plan because, as like a lot of a 3-year benefit period per person is likely, based on the statistics, to be enough coverage for each person. Now, I say likely because the average duration of a long-term care claim is about 3 years. In fact, it's a little bit over 3 years for females and a little bit under 3 years for males. But overall speaking, if you look at data, well, a 3-year plan should be a large enough benefit period for most people. But you know what, to hedge against that, I'm going to click on the shared benefit rider. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit and show you when I create the output what our shared benefit rider really does, right? It's a third pool, but I'll get to that in a little bit. The elimination period, I'm going to select 90 days. That's what most people do. I'll say that's what the NGL sweet spot likely is. And I will tell you with NGL, it is 90 service days. That is the elimination period. You can do 30, 180. Most people do 90. I'm not going to do any return to premium options. To be honest with you, if someone really wants, that double peace of mind, right? That, hey, I want to, make sure that I have a good plan in place in case, care is needed in the future. But I also want to make sure that, if I never need it, well, all my premiums come back to my, loved ones or my estate. Okay, well, if that is what's really important to them, I would probably pivot first and look at a multifunctional life insurance product, right? Or a linked benefit product as well, rather than purchase a return of premium option on a traditional plan. I mean, and again, that's the good thing about having so many different types of long-term care solutions today. All right, premium options. All right, so we do NGL. Most business is lifetime premium, right? You pay it for the rest of your life, or until you need it, at which point you go on waiver of premium. But NGL also has a 10-pay and a single pay. In fact, NGL has the only 10-pay and single pay in the traditional LTC market. And I'll tell you that the 10-pay happens to be the only guaranteed traditional long-term care insurance premiums in the market. Yes, during that 10-year payment period, the premiums are guaranteed not to increase. And of course, afterwards, once the policy is paid, the carrier cannot go back and collect any more premiums. So that is one thing that is pretty unique. There's also a single pay when it comes to traditional LTC, and we see most of the single pay options being 1035 exchanges, right? People who who are older on and they have a permanent life insurance policy that they really don't need anymore, don't have any more use for anymore, but they want to parlay that cash value into the ultimate long-term care leverage. Well, you can do that with an NGL single pay. For the purposes here, though, we'll do a lifetime premium. We'll do an annual premium. There's also a rider, of course, to waive the elimination period for home care. That would make it a first day coverage for home care. We'll leave that off here for now. Because what we're trying to do, or what I like to do, is create a little bit of reverse sticker shock for my client, right? Because this is a very, very, I will call it a very viable plan, a valuable plan. 3 years, 150 a day. Let's take a look. Let's calculate the premiums and see what that is for the couple. All right. All right, so you can see right here on the side here, if you can see that screen, it gives you the summary. But I'm going to go ahead and click on Generate Report because this is the true output. All right, so as you'll see, I can put the agent's name in here. I'm going to put in myself. I'm going to put in my email address. I'm going to put in my phone number, and I'm going to put in John Doe is the client's name, and John and Jane Doe as the clients. And I'm going to click on Print Quote. And here, I think you can all see this. This is the output, right? Very easy. And what I love about it is that it's one page, right? Now, again, you could, if they really get into it, you want to, take a look at the, take a look at all the reports, and you want to, a detailed 20-page, or you can make it 5 pages, or anywhere between 20 and 25 pages. You know how these long-term care full illustration systems work. We can do that, but I think this is overall more visually pleasing and easier for the client to understand. And I believe the client is more apt to understand what long-term care insurance and the plan you're proposing. I think they're going to understand it much better with this 1-page visualization than a 20-page illustration with a bunch of charts. So let me go over this for a little bit. So the premium here, I'll start with that for the couple. Now, keep in mind, NGL is a bit unique in that rather than offering a 2 separate premiums for a couple, breaking down, here's your premium, sir, and ma'am, here's your premium, with a percentage spousal discount. With NGL, you get a joint premium. Right now, they call it a joint policy, but you each have your own pool of money. I'll get to the third pool in a little bit. But the key here is there's 1 premium for a couple. All right. And that joint premium here is $5,406, about $5,400 a year for both of them. Right. Age 60 couple. They're both age 60. All right. That is really good, right? That is really, and the overall leveraging on day 1 is about $493,000. All right. So let's talk a little bit about how do you can see right here where it says that policy issue, between the two of them on day 1, they have about $493,000 in benefits. Because of the shared care rider, which provides a third pool. So obviously, with most traditional LTC policies, the husband and wife, they each have their own pool, right? And here it's about $164,000 each. But we selected the shared benefit rider. That gives us a third pool, tangibly more benefit dollars. So a third pool of $164,000, right? Unlike most other carriers that build a bridge, right, between the 2 pools. So if he uses up all his benefits, he can start using his wife's benefits, usually all but 1 year's worth. Rather than that, we give you more benefit. NGL gives you more benefit dollars. So if he, let's say the husband here, uses up his entire pool, well, then at that point, rather than use his wife's pool, he uses the shared pool. Right. And he can go in and use that other shared pool. It's a 3-year pool, just like each of them have on day 1, $164,000. Now, this policy has 3% compound inflation on it. All 3 of these pools are increasing 3% on a compounded basis. All right. So, as you'll see in this age 85 over on the right here, you will see that the premium paid, at age 85, assuming none of them have gone on claim, and assuming rates have been as planned, stable the whole time with no rate increases, you'll see at age 85, when they're both 85, they have over $1 million in long-term care combined, and there's a total amount of premiums they paid over the years. All right, let's take another look at this, though, and start talking a little bit about what ifs. All right, let's go into what if number 1, he or she goes on claim, right? Obviously, like most long-term care plans, this has a waiver of premium. But it's a joint premium. What does that mean? Well, it does mean that the entire premium is waived even if just one of them goes on claim. So let's say he needs home health care. At that point, once he goes on claim, the entire $5,400 premium is waived. So yes, it is a built-in spousal waiver of premium built into this plan. Right, so there's one scenario. He goes on claim, then the entire premium is waived while he's on claim. Let's say he passes away. All right. Let's say he passes away after whether or not he uses any benefits. Let's say he goes on claim, and like clockwork, he uses up his pool and passes away. Right before he can even reach the third pool. So the averages hold steady for him. He needs almost 2 years of care, passes away. All right. Well, what happens then? All right. Well, you'll see here, if you can see it, the little writing that actually does appear on the illustration here. It answers this what if, right? What happens upon the death of the primary insured? I'll start by saying number one, well, his pool, well, he's used it in this example, but whether or not he's used it at all, his pool goes away because he passed away, but the surviving spouse, most likely her, keeps both pools, right? So she has her pool, and if she uses up that, she has the shared pool, or what's left of it, if he needed any benefits. If not, then going forward, she basically has a 6-year plan, right? Because she has her 3-year pool, and then if she uses all that up, she has that other 3-year pool for a total of 6 years. But what happens to the premium? You'll see here, down here, upon just where my cursor is, upon the death of the primary insured, in this example, the husband, the secondary insured surviving, her premium will be $43.25. So her premium is reduced from $5,400 down to $4,300. Yet she goes from a 3-year plan to a 6-year plan. So the benefits, she goes forward with the 6-year plan with reduced premium. That's a very good story to tell. If she were to die first, if she were to pass away first, well, then this is where you see kind of the behind the scenes of this blended joint rate, where the gender specific nature of traditional long-term care insurance comes through. Obviously, if that were to happen and she were to pass away before the husband, well, the same would be true. Meaning he would have, his pool and all or what's left of the third pool, but his premium going forward is only $2,600. So again, the bottom line is there's a little bit of a survivorship aspect to this plan in that sense when you have a husband and wife. And another reason why I like this quick quote software is it illustrates that right there, the what ifs, right? Which is a good story, right? And it comes down, and it all, kind of comes in to, the role of traditional long-term care insurance in today's, market of long-term care solutions, and that, long-term care, traditional LTC, is known for the most benefit dollars available for the least amount of outgoing premium dollars, right? And obviously, this is National Guardian Life's sweet spot, right? This is where the company shines in that it's the most the essence of what traditional long-term care insurance is, right? The most benefit dollars for your outgoing premium dollar. Of course, down here, you'll see the joint pay, and these are Minnesota rates. And you will see that, down here, daily benefit, 153 years, everything is needed right here. A nice, easy one pager for you here. We can go back and, a lot of people would say, let's go back and, and take a look at the illustration, because a lot of people would look at this, as I'm sure some of you are saying, well, geez, 150 a day, that's not enough. And you know what? That's why, something, let's go back to the, everyone has their opinions when it comes to plan design. And no, it maybe not. It possibly might not be enough. And I'm sure many of you understand how, when you go out and you show a couple, the most benefit rich plan possible. And believe me, I live in New Jersey, and the cost of care in New Jersey is, pretty astronomical. I mean, especially in North New Jersey. I mean, an assisted living facility in North New Jersey averages $8,000 a month. But listen, I'm very cognizant about putting people into immediate sticker shock, because once you put people into sticker shock, it's hard to get them back, right? And it kind of minimizes the whole process. How many times do you go through and you look at you do an illustration of maximum benefits, or hey, you're in North New Jersey or wherever you are, we got to do 9,000, 10,000 a month. If you have longevity in your family, 10, let's do a 5-year plan. Boy, you look at that, and a lot of people look at the premium and say, "Oh my God, you got to be kidding me!" And now you're in a position. If you do that, you're in a position where you're saying, "Oh well, let's start taking benefits away, because hey, after all, something is better than nothing. So let's start, reducing benefits, reducing that daily benefit, and let's go down from a 5-year to a 3-year." And but really, that just minimizes the whole experience, and kind of creates the illusion that oh geez, I tried selling this person a Lamborghini, but we're going to settle for something lower, because hey, at least having wheels is better than not having wheels. But I see too many people say, "Oh, you think?" I don't think so. I'm going to do nothing. So what I like to do is, again, I call this the stay-at-home plan. I started low, and again, $150 a day. Hey, that could make what's an unmanaged, a possibly an unmanageable situation into a manageable one. A little bit can go a long way with traditional long-term care insurance. It absolutely can. Regardless of what you're getting that month. And I know this, and I'm sure some of you have been caregivers and can relate to that, right? A little goes a long way with long-term care planning. And if they want to add to that, if they say, hey, my aunt spent, years in an assisted living facility, and it was closer to $7,000 a month, not $4,500 a month. Well, all right, no problem. We put them in I'll call reverse sticker shock, and if they want to add more, right? If they want more, and quite honestly, they were probably thinking, in many cases, I get this. They were, when I show a 60-year-old couple, this rate. Some people say, boy, and that's for both of us? I was thinking it would be $5,000 each. So why don't we go in and say, listen, there's more on the shelf. If you want a more robust plan, let's look at $200 a day. What's that going to be? All right, there you go. There's $7,200 a month, and I see a lot of this. They add up, and when you do that, and say, here, the moving parts. If you want more, you can grab some more dollars off the shelf, put it into the plan, and here's what we come up with. And I see a lot of people, and quite honestly, it gives them a sense of control, right? You gave them the levers. They're building, I like to call it the Build-A-Bear plan. Many of you have had kids and used to go to the mall and they see the Build-A-Bear. You just buy the basics and add them on. But it gives them a sense of, I'm creating it myself. I'm not being forced into something I'm really having second thoughts about. I do, again, another reason why I like this quick quote software is that you can allow them to build their own plan and add to it. And they say, all right, I'm not really been, basically you're creating a buying environment for them to build their own plan that they're customized, to customize their own plan that they're comfortable with, and they feel they own it rather than they're being sold something. I mean, that's the feedback I get. So here we go. We just upgraded it a bit just by going from 150 to 200 a day. And look at that. I mean, it's 3 pools of 219,000. Day one, the long-term care benefit dollars available for both of them are $657,000 for an outgoing premium of about 7,200 combined between the two of them for a 60-year-old couple. And that's really good. It's going to be really hard to beat in the industry. This sort of leveraging. And again, like I said before, this is for the person or the people that, they want a long-term care plan. They don't need life insurance, nor do they want to pay for life insurance. If they want that, pivot to one of the other awesome solutions out there. This is straightforward, traditional long-term care insurance, but you're not going to, it's going to be really tough for a couple to find the bang for the dollar, for the long-term care bang for the premium dollar that NGL does. So with that said, I think I gave you a demo of the Quick Quote website, went over the basics and the gist of of the Essential long-term care product. With that, Lynn, are there any questions at all anyone has? And I haven't touched upon underwriting or anything like that, but listen, the underwriting is, the bottom line is with any long-term care solution, your health is what buys long-term care insurance. Money pays the premium. Underwriting is essentially everyone gets a phone interview and medical records. And one last thing I want to mention, Lynn, before I pass it off to you, is that NGL, they're committed to long-term care for the long haul. And with that said, we have just released a new e-app platform called NGL ClientConnect, and it is probably the easiest and most intuitive e-app platform that is out there. Easy to use, especially great when you're dealing with a client just taking the application over the phone or on a Zoom call. NGL is really investing a lot of money in doing business easy as possible. So with that, now, Lynn, are there any questions?
Now, I don't see any that have been typed into the chat yet, but I did want to ask, the Quick Quote platform that you're using, since there's no login, is there any way to save your quote, or would it just be going in and recreating or building a quote from scratch each time?
You can save the PDF, of course. So what you just saw is a PDF output. You can save that, of course. But on the overall system, you'll see here, no, there's no little mini database in which you save clients and can save them in the database. It is meant to almost be an on-the-fly generate a PDF. Now, you may also ask as a follow-up question, someone will say, well, what's to prevent, a client from, finding this website and doing it themselves? And to be honest with you, there's nothing other than somehow our room full of computer guys has suppressed it so far. If you were to go into even into Google and put NGL Quick Quote, you can hardly find it. So that's why if you have, the link, it makes it really easy if you just save it to your favorites. And when you do it, here's the homepage. You just come up with this, and then you can just no logging in. And I mean, that's what drives me nuts about doing like, any illustration is you got to log into their website and put in your user ID, then the password, and then you got to update your password and change it, or
Well,
you have
not
to do
only that,
two-factor.
multi-factor
Yeah.
authentication nowadays.
Oh, that drives me nuts. I hate it.
Okay, well, good deal. So, and when you were building this, I did notice that your browser had saved some of the entries from earlier, so that may help, but um, like he said, it's just a PDF generator on the fly. And by the way, those PDF printouts are really, really handy. To all the attendees out there, I will include the link to this platform in the follow-up email, of course. And I think that handout paired with the NGL consumer brochure would make such an easy to follow presentation to the client. I'll include the generic version, a link to the generic NGL EssentialLTC brochure in the follow-up email as well.
Perfect. Thank you, Lynn. And yeah, that's what we find. And, listen, I know most of, most of the, the agents, especially on the call, have been around for a while. You know what you're doing. And you may agree with the fact that, sometimes when you're trying to, get their attention, that, you know, that long, that illustration system with all the reports, which are good maybe down the road when you're more in depth and really talking about, the what ifs and the power of inflation, they're good. But I'll tell you at the outset, I hate to put the client into analysis paralysis. It's like you said, Lynn, this is a great thing when you're having that discussion about the types of solutions that are available, and you're showing, listen, if we reposition this, you can get this leverage and that sort of stuff. But when it comes to traditional LTC, and you're explaining the concept of most benefit dollars for the least amount of premium, then this is a good, easy one pager for the client to grasp that concept.
Mike, I'm so sorry, I mispronounced your name originally, and I apologize for that. But everybody, Mike Simonstead from NGL, thank you for taking time out of your day. All of the attendees, thank you for joining us today. Remember, NGL is one of our premier traditional long-term care insurance carriers. Everything that Mike explained, this is one of the many solutions that we offer to fill that client need. Yes, long-term care insurance is still a viable solution, and there's still quite a number of people that this is the ideal solution for. I actually want to spill a little bit of something I just learned in analyzing our own 2024 production. GoldenCare has actually, while some of the submission numbers per carrier has fell slightly, the number of placements, the placement rates have not. In fact, those have stayed about level. So this just speaks volumes to the fact that our agents are placing plans, placing their clients' trust in the right plans that fit their solution. And again, this was actually a traditional long-term care insurance carrier that I'm picking on. But overall, the agents are doing a great job, and they're getting the right solution to the right clients. So again, NGL is one of those premier solutions that we offer. If you have any questions, Mike is always available. Anyone on the GoldenCare team, definitely reach out. Our number here is 1-800-842-7799. And if you haven't jumped on our website, be sure to visit goldencareagent.com. So again, thank you everyone for your time. Mike, thank you so much for all of your help and for this presentation. It was really good. Had we had more time, I think I might be chasing you down for a ClientConnect demo.
No problem. We'll do that in the future. We'll do a future one, but my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me, Lynn.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right, take care, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
GoldenCare is always here to serve you with new tools, new products, new ideas, and new innovations, and always the best support in the business to help you succeed. So give us a call at 800-842-7799 and check out our website at www.goldencareagent.com.